I've read all the comments. I hear you. Today we are back with a drill tutorial showing you how to make hard-hitting drill beats for the likes of DIGDAT, because DIGDAT has recently been released from jail and now he's back making music. The latest release, No Gimmicks, has a few people talking about drill again, I'll be real. So I thought it's a good idea to come back with a fresh new drill tutorial. We're going to be slightly referencing his track in terms of melody, sound selection and arrangement, so stay tuned throughout the entire video for all the sauce. Now very quickly, I have put together a new drill kit called the GOAT Drill Drum Kit, which is basically every single top tier elite sound that I've ever put in any of my drill kits, all in one kit. So if you're new to the channel, or if you haven't bought any of my kits before, this is the one for you. You'll see it later on in the video, link for it in the description, and let's just jump into this. We are in 146 BPM, and we're going to start off making the dark pads first. So we're going to be using X-Band 2, and we just want to get some kind of typical drill chord progression in the key of D sharp minor. I think anytime I make music, I'm just using tension notes. That's all you want to do. Then towards the end, we're just going to drop it. This is a pretty similar chord progression to the same one that's used in No Gimmicks. Now listen, it's sounding very dry. I feel like a lot of pad sound selection nowadays are being mixed with the effects like flanges and phaser. It adds a little bit more of a spacey tone to the pad. We are using this mixer chain currently on the left. Our standard little trio of crystallizer, reverb, stereo enhancer. And this is how we really kind of spice up the mix. I like adding flanges and phaser. I cycle through random presets in each bank. Once I find a random preset, I just adjust the mix accordingly on the actual mixer track. And then lastly, we added on some Gullfoss just to kind of tighten up that mix a little bit. The next thing we want to do is start layering these pads together so we can create a better pad sound. We are staying in X-Band. I like this sound. And together they blend quite nicely too. Still sticking inside of X-Band, except this pad we're using half time with it. I feel like it's missing a tiny bit of high end in it somewhere. So we are coming into contact, we're coming into a bank called Atom. In the DIGDAT song, there was a vocal in it for most of the beat. So we're also going to do the exact same thing. We're heading over to Splice. We're going to grab a vocal. What I want to do is, I just want to start slicing this and chopping it a little bit because we don't want to use the full thing. First thing, we are starting with Little Altar Boy and we're pitching the formant up 3. Next, we're squashing the vocals with this EQ. Then swamping it with reverb. And last but not least, hitting it with a combo of flanges and phaser. Woo! That sounds nasty. Alright, I'm low-key sick of this key, so let's switch up the key. We've rendered out all the pads into one. We're just going to reverse it. We're gonna pitch it down, let's say 400 cents. That sounded pretty hard. I feel like this is still slightly missing some sort of textures and stuff. I'm adding in these one-shot sounds, which I'm also going to be releasing my own kind of like melodic phrases, textures, accents, and runs sort of one-shot kit. That's going to be coming very, very soon. It's going to be insane. I've also just routed these accents to the same mixer track as the pads. This melody's kind of sounding done to me. Let's get started with the drums. Like I said, if you don't have any of my drill drum kits, or even if you only have like 1 or 2 of them, this GOAT drill drum kit is the one. I've been making drill drum kits for like way over 2 years, and I've combined every single 10 out of 10 elite sound over the past 2 years into one drum kit. I would definitely check it out if you haven't got some of my kits already. And listen, even if you just want to show some love to the channel, the best way that you can actually support me is purchasing my drum kits. So I do genuinely appreciate it. All right, now let's start making these hats dance. And next, I like to just switch to a quarter beat. And then in here, this is where I just start getting a bit of a bounce. Best way to make your hats dance is change velocity and also change the pitch with them. Bear with me here. Yeah, that's probably it. Next, let's move to the 808s. And even just looking at this 808s folder over here, this is a folder full of absolute classic 808s. I feel like we need to throw it back to the Empire 808. I feel like that will just hit hard on this beat. Something like that. Of course, we're using Slip's kick. If you don't know already, pitch your kick down to A or A sharp. We're going to go A for this one. Lastly, spice it up with a few little perks if you want. I'm going to keep the perks quite basic in this beat. And last thing to do is basically arrangement. I'm going to show you all the sauce and arranging here. As always, this FLP will be available over on my Patreon as well. Link for my Patreon in the description. I've got a couple of automations going on in the bottom, especially intro verb on the intro. Added an extra 2 808 patterns. I'm going to play from the start. Listen, if you man want to see more drill tutorials, make sure you hit the like button. That way I will understand that you actually want drill tutorials. And yeah, man, here's the full beat. Little pitched up section. Another delay drop. And that's basically it, man. Go drill drum kit out now. Go grab it. Link for that in the description. Appreciate it. Run me up on Instagram and Twitch because they're the only two things I care about. I'm out. Good luck, see you later. Bow.